In the 21st century, humanity's technology had advanced considerably, entering the time known as the Neo-Frontier era. The two top trainees pilots of the training squad Zero, Shin Asuka and Takeru, competed in hand-to-hand combat. To win, Asuka cheated by pretending that the instructor has just arrived, allowing him to sneak beneath Takeru and jab him in the crotch using his finger. Later, the Super Gods member Ryu and Koda ran a recruitment test to join their elite team, an outer space combat simulation where Asuka demonstrated his considerable skills at flying and shooting. After a brief and furious battle, which Asuka successfully tagged, Ryu and Koda, an alien object called a sphere, appeared and began assaulting the pilots and destroying a space station in the process. The trainees switched from practice mode to battle mode, fighting them, but Ryu's ship computer malfunctioned, leaving her defenseless. Before the ship was captured by the spheres, Asuka rescued her, but was soon gunned down himself. Asuka ejects himself, and as he drifts through space, he encountered a strange light and fell unconscious. Asuka woke up at the base of Super Gods, where he meets another member of the team, Mai, who revealed to him that he is now a member. Overnight, Asuka dreamed about a sphere reaching Mars and transforming into a monster, then dreamed of the same strange light enveloping him. Asuka then meets up with the rest of the team before they dispatch on to a mission at the TPC Mars base, that which is under attack by the same monster that Asuka dreamed about. Asuka was reckless in the mission, and his spacecraft crashed and badly injured his co-pilot Koda. He attempted to defend Koda from the outside of the ship, while another fleet of spheres arrived and attacked the base directly. Asuka refuses to give up until the strange light envelops him and transforms him into Ultraman Dyna. As soon as Dyna appeared, the monster was blasted apart from the sheer amount of light that created during the transformation. Dyna destroys the remaining spheres, much to the amazement of the base onlookers. It wasn't over yet, because the same monster pieces itself together into a new beast. On Mars, Dyna continues to fight, while Super Gods observe the fight from their jets. He successfully destroyed the monster with his beam. Dyna then disappears in a display of lights. With their mission finished, Captain Hibiki ordered the group to return to Earth. Asuka was troubled why he was chosen to be Dyna's vessel, while discovering the light flasher on the ground left in front of him. Meanwhile, another group of spheres began to combine and headed to Earth. The TPC held a meeting with Captain Hibiki about their new enemy, which they dubbed spheres, asking him if he learned anything meaningful from his encounter with them. Hibiki was only able to say that he believed that the spheres were very intelligent. They are very unhappy with humanity's advances. At the same time, the spheres from before revealed they have landed in a volcanic area and are sipping and merging with the rocks nearby. At the Super Gods headquarters, the team named the new giant of light Ultraman Dyna. Hibiki returns to his team and scolds Asuka for almost getting Deputy Captain Koda killed and warning him not to become a burden. Later that night, Asuka was discouraged but given an advice by Ryu that they need to work as a team, comparing it to baseball, a sport that Asuka never won a game of when he was in school for the same reason. More spheres were discovered near an observation satellite, so Hibiki, Nakajima, and Kirya are headed there in a ship, but they find they were too late and the satellite has been destroyed. It turns out that it was a distraction to draw attention away from the spheres on Earth that already transformed into a monster who is heading for a governmental energy base. Hibiki allowed Ryu and Asuka to return to Earth to engage with the monster, while the remaining team would take care of the sphere. As Ryu and Asuka depart, so did a small group of spheres. Asuka offered to fight them so Ryu could make it to Earth, but his jet is damaged in the battle and immobilized him. Asuka then asked Dyna to lend him his power, embracing the responsibility of having the power to protect everyone and transform him into Dyna for the second time. Ryu reached Earth but was unable to harm the monster. Even the trainees of Training Squad Zero violated protocols and entered the battle with their test fighters, to aid her. Dyna then arrives, but he struggles against its hot body and flame attack. He turns into his miracle type to counter them with its enhanced speed and psychic ability. He managed to suspend the beast into the air, reflecting a fire-breathing attack from the airborne monster. He destroys it, which also causes the remaining spheres to retreat. Super Gods return to the TPC base, and Hibiki ordered Ryu to pick up Asuka, who has been stranded on a beach after his fallen spacecraft landed in the ocean. There, Asuka reminisces about his missing father's words, realizing he had now seen the same light his father once saw. From outer space, a glowing green asteroid fell to Earth. Meanwhile, members of Super Gods undertook a shooting training course, where Asuka and Ryo were to work as a team to shoot targets quickly. Asuka repeatedly rushes ahead, ignoring Ryo completely. When it was over, Asuka had achieved a new record, but Ryo was unimpressed and berates him for his cockiness. Super Gods then discovered the meteorite and worked it out to be an egg. The egg hatches and revealing 3 worm-like monsters. Asuka, that was patrolling nearby in a ship, was told to collect the data and be on a standby. Asuka ignores his orders and exterminates 2 out of the 3 monsters. Hibiki berates him for acting on his feeling, while the groups tell him that he defeated 2 out of the 3 monsters. The next day, Super Gods discusses yesterday's monster and naming him Cyclometria. Nakajima revealed that the creature contained an antimatter sac that could produce a highly destructive explosion if it fuses with another creature. The monster Grosnia then appears, a beast that disappeared underground after being attacked by gods 10 years ago. It's being brought back by Cyclometria, which tunneled inside. Koda, realizing that if they attack carelessly, Grosnia would explode. Asuka ignored orders again and landed his ship to transform into Dyna. He attempted to use the light flasher, but nothing happened. Much to Asuka's confusion, defenseless on the ground, Grosnia fired a fireball at him, causing Hibiki to fly his ship in front and take the fireball to save Asuka. After Koda berates Asuka for his foolishness behavior, Nakajima explained that Cyclometria's explosion launches eggs towards other planets, accidentally destroying them in the process. The cycle would repeat where the egg lands, causing countless planets to be destroyed. The TPC organized a plan to defeat Claustrometria, which Asuka took a crucial role, firing a luring wave when Grosnia emerges again. They conduct the plan, luring the monster away from the city and restraining his arms with laser rolls, shooting a special laser through his chest. However, Clometria quickly heals up the wound and the beast wreaks havoc. An injured Hibiki arrived to assist Asuka in fighting the enemy, but once hit again by Grosnia, Hibiki was sent unconscious. He, as his ship rapidly descends to the ground, Asuka desperately tries to save Hibiki, causing him to transform into Dyna, who successfully catches him and carefully places him down. Dyna battles the monster and the enemy almost outpower him. He blasts the monster with his beam, causing Clometria to erupt from Grosnia's body, but then Dyna quickly uses the flash cycler to destroy it too. In the end, Asuka plays catch with Captain Hibiki, while Mai and Ryo agree they are similar people. Recently, mysterious earthquakes have been occurring around Oba City. Super Gods monitors the irregular activities and come to learn that the earthquakes were not natural. They identified that the GeoCity construction site was prompting a monster to cause the tremors. Koda and Asuka headed to the scene, and here they learn about the PW waves which are able to turn rock into powder regardless how hard it is. Back in the command center, Nakajima deduces that the frequency of those waves may agitate the monster. At that moment, the earthquake resumes. Hibiki quickly orders Koda and Asuka to stop the PW waves. Meanwhile, he contacts President Tachibana of Geofront and requests that he would hold the usage of the PW waves. However, all he does is anger the president, and he ignores Hibiki's words. Tachibana thinks that because the monster disliked the PW waves, then it would leave if exposed to enough of it. He arrives at the construction site and orders his guards to retain Koda and Asuka, and then sets the PW waves to the maximum intensity. Unfortunately, the plan backfires, and the monster was now headed towards the construction site. Once everybody realized this, Asuka and Koda evacuate the building. Before President Tachibana and his secretary and Asuka could evacuate, the monster appears and seeks the building below ground, leaving the trio trapped. Superguts attack the monster while Tachibana reminisces why he initialized Geofront. The commotion of the battle causes the building to topple even further. It was at this desperate moment that Asuka transformed into Dyna to do battle with the monster. Initially, Dyna was unable to handle the monster's great strength and thick skin, and he was tossed easily by the carnivore beast, locking Dyna's foot in its jaw. The monster slammed Dyna into the ground over and over again. Finally, Dyna transformed into Strong type in order to break free, with the strength to exceed even the monster. Strong type has no difficulty hurling the monster across the field and swinging it. Dyna was able to completely vaporize it. While all of President Tachibana's hard work have been reduced to rubble, it was only a new beginning. The Superguts members are watching news on the television where they see that American Major League player Hiromu has suddenly returned to Japan after a losing streak and is refusing to answer the press as to why he returned. Mei is revealed to be a big fan of Hiromu, and she learns that Asuka was Hiromu's high school teammate. Mei and Asuka headed to see Hiromu. Asuka recalls the days of playing baseball in high school alongside of his former teammate. Elsewhere, a monster is attacking a high-energy power plant. The two find the star alone at a baseball pitch. Asuka notices his old friend's sad nature and decides to have a match with him. However, it is here that Asuka learns of Hiromu's reluctance to the sport. He seems to purposely miss each of his throws. Mei asks him if the reason is because the controversy stirred by Phoenix News about the dead ball Hiromu hit Hobbs with. Hiromu doesn't comment, but his silence confirms it. At that moment, Hibiki contacts Asuka and informs him that a monster appeared near a high priority energy pipeline. Superguts attempts to attack the monster, but all of their attacks are stopped by the tough armor on the monster's forearm. Alpha and Gamma attempt a double-headed attack, but it backfires on them, causing Alpha to crash. Asuka attempts to attack the monster on foot, but he notices Hiromu nearby, so he takes him to safety. Asuka tells that he will attempt to sneak under the monster and attack its underside. Hiromu comments about the absurdity of this attack, but is met with Asuka relaying a quote he himself has told Asuka during their youth. This was the wake-up call that Hiromu needed. While Asuka does manage to hit the monster, the attack was ineffective and he was forced to transform into Dyna to save the energy pipeline. The two fight for a while, but Dyna is unable to harm the monster because of his plated arms. Hiromu notices that the monster is vulnerable to curved attacks, so he calls out to Dyna and gestures for him to use an energy ball. The first ball is blocked, but the second ball is fork ball strike. Afterwards, Superguts is seen playing a game with Hiromu. He easily strikes out Asuka on his first throw. The episode begins as a guard is patrolling at night. As he passes through a computer screen, flashes the words goodbye before decaying into humans. Suddenly, several gigantic stalks burst out of the ground and wraps around each other while spreading across the city. Meanwhile, during a retcon mission in outer space, Asuka flies at 3 times the required speed. Hibiki is not pleased. Once they arrive back at headquarters, he fires Asuka on the spot in an explosion of anger. This, however, is short-lived, and Asuka is immediately brought back by Hibiki to deploy to the city in order to investigate the gigantic object that suddenly appeared in the prior night. During Asuka's search, he is captured by Phogos in his human form. At the same time, he had infiltrated to the TPC headquarters and launches a missile from the Europe branch towards the Garden Dome. In a plan to make humanity declare war upon each other, this plan is stopped when 2 of the missiles are destroyed by Koda in the Kharkov NF-3000 and the last one by Rio in Gamma. Phogos tries to convince Asuka to stop siding with the humans, claiming they have reached the end of evolution. Asuka refuses. Following all of its previous plans being foiled, Phogos summons many of its battle form avatars. On their own, each unit is very weak and easily dispatched by Dyna. However, their ability to be summoned rapidly and numerously was a large threat. To combat this, Dyna transforms into Miracle type. Using his telekinetic ability, he locates Phogos' truest form and destroys it. Later that evening, Supergods are seen commemorating the victory with matsutake mushrooms. A spaceship traveling along the cosmos when suddenly two life forms manage to escape from it. A third follows them and crash land on Earth. The pursuer is an alien Dias. He quickly dispatches one of the escapees, a baby Guybrush. That next day, a young girl named Yuka finds the remaining baby Guybrush washed upon the beach. When approached by Ryo, who was visiting the orphanage along with Asuka, Yuka ran away with the Guybrush. Here, Yuka confesses to the infant monster of her loneliness and how her parents died in a monster attack. At that moment, Dias locates the Guybrush and attempt to shoot it. Asuka and Ryo intervene in the nick of time and manage to knock him out unconscious. After what seemed to be hesitation to shoot Yuka. Back at the guard dome, Dias is being held captive by TPC while the Guybrush is being analyzed. Having woken up from a nightmare of an adult Guybrush killing his daughter, Dias teleports to the location and pursues to kill it. Yuka quickly jumped in front of the monster who had grown larger in size and managed to buy enough time for Supergods to surround him suddenly. Guybrush vanished along with Yuka. Back at the command center, Dias explained the true nature of the Guybrush and how it forcefully destroys civilizations. Meanwhile, Guybrush continues to grow in size, entering its intermediate stage, proceeding to observe Yuka into his eye. Before growing to full size, Supergods dispatch with Dias and allow him to teleport into the monster's eye to save Yuka. But before they could escape from the vicinity, Guybrush managed to mortally wound Dias, who managed to save Yuka from the blast at the last moment. Asuka carries the two to safety, but the damage is already being done, remarking the resemblance between his daughter and Yuka, and wishing Yuka to live strong. Dias perish. Asuka fulfills his dying wish by giving Yuka the pendant worn around Dias' neck, and enraged Asuka transformed into Dyna in order to destroy the monster. Initially, Dyna was outmatched by Guybrush and was tossed around easily. After being cheered on by Yuka, Dyna managed to cut off his tail and destroys it. The following day, Supergods visit the orphanage again. Asuka teaches Yuka that she should try and make some friends in order to live strong like Dias wanted. It's another peaceful day in a village. The villagers enjoying their slow life. Suddenly, a strange meteorite crashed nearby. Supergods are headed to investigate it. Upon arrival, they discover that all the residents have strangely collapsed into a state of sleep. After waking everybody up and gathering them together, Supergods question the villagers. However, as they were all knocked out unconscious, nobody could pinpoint what exactly just happened. It was at that moment that a villager revealed that Grandpa Otokichi had seen the monster to be the cause of the problem. Otokichi claims that he witnessed the monster Bawan yawn before the whole village collapsed into sleep. The exact same feat just happened again, and Supergods were put to sleep. After waking up, Asuka stayed behind to watch over Bawan, while Nakajima develops the voice breaker back at HQ. This would modify the sound produced by Bawan such that its yawns would no longer induce sleep. Just then, General Fukuami introduces Dr. Mustafa Ali, a genius zoologist who is assigned to assist the Supergods. Supergods begins their first operation against Bawan. Firstly, they attempt to stimulate Bawan's sense of different colors. It turns out that red excites Bawan. Asuka attaches a red balloon to his jeep and led the monster to a designated point where Kiria would fire tripwire. This was planned to allow an easy attachment to a mask that would release sleeping gas. But unfortunately, Bawan has eaten the mask instead, but this still put the monster to sleep for a limited time. The next day, at daybreak, Bawan awakens and hops towards another red balloon. However, there was a highway nearby and Bawan would cause unprecedented damage. Asuka destroys the red balloon while Ryo fires a tranquilizer at the monster, but it didn't work and the missile only served to agitate him. Start charging towards the tent of Mustafa Ali. In order to save him, Asuka transforms into Dyna Strong type to gain Bawan's attention. Dyna is completely overwhelmed by Bawan's unusual antics and unable to do anything against it. Finally, Dyna creates a red energy sphere and lures Bawan into space with it. Even if it caused some disruption to the village, the villagers bid Bawan farewell as if they were good friends. On one stormy night, the monster Gikuda spontaneously appeared after a lightning bolt had stricken a ruin of some sort. Supergods are en route to intercept the monster from reaching the solar power generator facility. Asuka is ordered to rush in first to halt the monster's movement. He gets struck by the monster's plasma and he loses control. Just before he crashes, Asuka manages to eject. Asuka transforming to Dyna and brawls with the monster briefly and attempts to bring it away from the power facility. Transforming into strong type, eventually Dyna managed to hurl the monster into the air, allowing Supergods to finish him, scattering the pieces of the monster across the area. The following day, these pieces traveled down a stream. That very night, they manifest into a small swarm of Gikoda. They begin feeding on electricity. Asuka, Ryo, Koda, and Kirya are headed towards the scene. Supergods determine that multiple areas have completely lost powers due to the attacks, and they are facing an upwards of 2,000 enemies. On the scene, Koda and Kirya discovered that destroying these small Gikuda leads only to the revival of even smaller Gikudas. They return to the Grand Dome to regroup. Nakajima formulates a plan using the power plant generator facility. They use an electrically charged trap field in order to lure 2,000 components to the designated spot, where the TPC ground forces will shoot each of them using cannons. Initially, the operation appears to be a success. However, the sudden appearance of a thunderstorm caused the trap to lose power. As a result, the Gikoda scatters. As a last resort, Asuka becomes Miracle type and electrically charged the trap himself. The small monster cluster on the field and merge back into a fully formed Gikoda. Now the two can battle. Leads up to Dyna throwing the Gikoda into space. Supergods celebrates their victory, and Asuka suggests that maybe the appearance of the Gikoda was due to the will of the earth reminds to human what true darkness is. Hibiki remarks that while humans may forget important things, they must still press forward and seek the light known as the future.